Hello, my name is Galen Leonhardy. I'm your teacher for this section of English 102. This is a 16-week class. The class that I'll be introducing you to is the winter session, which goes from January to May, and this may be a fall session too. That is quite possible. So if you're watching it for either session, welcome to the class. I'm glad you're here. I think the one thing that I can tell you at the start of the class that is most important is that over 1,000 people have made it through this very class with very much these same instructions and with the same assignments and everything else. And they made it through and they came out on the other side with the A because they completed all of the assignments. And that's what you have to do. You have to complete all of the assignments, get everything done, do all of your peer reviews. And if you do that, then you finish the class and you get an A. You do have to meet my basic expectations, of course, but those are pretty straightforward, and I'll explain them to you as we go along. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the course so that you know some of the things that you need to do in order to get into the course and what to do once you get into the class. With that, I am going to share my screen. Right now, you should be able to see my desktop. I'm going to open up Google Chrome. Google Chrome is preferred for all things Canvas. You come up to the address, type in www.bhc.edu, hit enter, and presto changeo, we get to the My Blackhawk page. This page has things for you as students. It has student resources. The most important thing in your student resources as far as this class goes is the tutoring center, right? Please, you will be required to have every single thing that you do looked at by tutors or by people with a 4-year degree who are in your family. You can do that. So you have to do this. There will be times that you confirm doing it, and this is the place where you can go to do that. There's another online tutoring thing called tutor.com. I say that you can use that if you need to, but I highly recommend the tutoring center. The tutors there know exactly what I'm looking for. For us, we go to My Blackhawk right here. We click on that. You need to sign into your My Blackhawk. If you don't know how to sign in, or if you have any other kind of technical problem, call this number, 309-796-5555. That's 309-796-5555. That's technical support. Please be as polite as you can with the folks down at technical support. They are doing a lot of work, and they are also charged with helping students to understand how to handle the technical problems that go along with the college. So you'll need to have your username and your password. You select continue. That takes you to the college, to the My Blackhawk homepage. On the My Blackhawk homepage, you have this Canvas icon on the right-hand side of the page. Select that icon, please. You will have something that looks similar to mine. Mine is the teacher's version, but yours will be quite similar. You'll have these icons for classes that you're taking. We're the 102. For this class, it's 102, 107, but your class may have a different section number there. But that's the one that you'll click on. So you select that. And that takes you to the home page. The home page for my classes are always the module pages. And to put it simply, what you do is you start at the top and you work your way to the bottom. Now, you have a calendar over here. Don't use that calendar to figure out what you're doing for this class unless you want to remove all of there's ways of removing all of the other classes so that you can only see what we're doing for this class. Over here on this side, you should have, on the right-hand side, you should have something that says view calendar, something like that, or view course calendar or something like that. So you select that so that you can see the calendar. This class is a calendar-driven class, right? Everything that you need to get through the class, you can do by using the calendar, with the exception of a few readings that I can't put in the calendar because Canvas doesn't let me. There are attachments and things like that. But beyond that, everything that you need to do is in here. You start by opening this up, this top link that says how to read the calendar. Right? I usually click on the link at the top of that so that I can see it in the page as it's written. It says this calendar is a 2-week pattern, and that's true. The first week you have something to do every day. In the second week, there are open spaces. The open spaces are times when you are supposed to be writing and revising and showing your work to tutors. Do not think that those open spaces are free times when you aren't doing anything. That's not the case. Those are days that are specifically designed to allow you the opportunity to work on your writing assignments. This is a 16-week class again. The week 8 is the midterm. If you're missing assignments by the start of that week, you run the risk of being dropped from the class, and you most certainly will be. You need to understand that you'll be getting an F at the midterm, and if I look at your assignments and see that you have more than one assignment and you're working on that and communicating with me about that, then what I do is I drop students from the class at that time. Week 16 is the final, and that's when if you're missing any assignments at that time, then you get an F. Now, I don't want to scare you, right? Because it's really not that difficult to keep up in this class. You have assignments that you're supposed to read, and every day is marked in the calendar. And so if you go to the calendar and look at what you're supposed to do every day, and then add just a pinch of common sense to that, you'll discover that the class is easy enough to follow along with and easy enough to do. All right. So I think that the down here, this bottom line thing, you can do this. Seriously, you can pass this class with an A, but you have to stick with it. If you get behind, things get hard. You have to stay on top of your work in this class, and if you do that, then you're going to get the A. And you know what? I have students who are single parents with multiple children who have done this class. I have people who are working full-time jobs who've made it through this class. It's just not that difficult if you stay on top of it. And one of the big things that you need to do is make sure that your formatting's correct. You also need to make sure that you do the peer reviews, things like that. I'll help you know if you get behind. I'll tell you what it is you need to do. Okay, so that is the basics for how to use the calendar. Again, it's a 2-week system. If you look at it, you can see that every day of the first week of the units come in 2-week sessions. So this is unit 1, which are weeks 1 and 2, right? Week 1 is full every day. Week 2 has some open times, some open days when you're supposed to be revising your work. The final draft is always turned in the first day of the succeeding unit, okay? The next unit, and that's how it works. And you just see that we just go through this for all 16 weeks doing that. The last unit, just so that you know, the paper is a double paper. So instead of being 1,500 words with 3 sources, the final paper is 3,000 words with 6 sources. You may use one of the earlier papers for that. All right. If you have questions about that so far, please remember everything's in the instructions. I'm just running through it as quickly as I can to give you an overview of what it is you need to do to understand how to navigate the course. All right. You are absolutely required. Here's the syllabus, by the way. Okay, you are required to be able to download Office 365 to your computer. If you have a Chromebook or an iPad, those are not going to work, and you shouldn't even try to make it through college with those kinds of crummy computers. You need a computer that's going to last you 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and allow you to complete your college work in a way that doesn't interfere with your success. So you have to use Microsoft Word. We are not using Google Docs. Please do not send me a Google Doc link. It won't work. I won't accept it. They're we don't use them. We're using Microsoft Word in this class, and you get to download it for free. And in order to download it for free, you just select this link right here, and you follow the instructions. If you have problems getting something to download to your computer, call the technical support people at 309-796-5555, right? You just call those technical support people at 796-5555, and you tell them what kind of computer you're using and stuff like that, and they'll help you. You can go down to their office, which is at the end of building 4. I believe they're still going to have their office there. You can check, but it's easier just to call and tell them what's happening and ask them for some assistance. Okay. After that, you have some introductory information. Just start at the top and work your way through, okay? It tells you everything that we're doing in the class, tells you how to know when you have discussion questions that you need to post, tells you how to do peer reviews. Some of you may not have done peer reviews before, but if you're in 102, it is very likely that you understand Canvas well enough to use it. If you don't, just call my Google number. Again, you go to the course syllabus, not again, but for the first time, and my Google number is right there. Okay, and you just call that Google number, and you can get in touch with me, and I'll help you do the help you do your whatever it is you need to do. All right. It's you shouldn't have any problems. You can, the primary way of communicating with me is through the Canvas inbox. You just send a note, and I'm usually on top of it. If it's been more than 2 hours, please call the Google number, and because there's something that's happening that's keeping me away from the computer. I'll be happy to talk to you. All right. As long as you're calling at a reasonable time of day, I'll be happy to talk to you. So from 7 to say 8, right? Okay. On a weekday from 7 to 8. On the weekends, let me sleep in, please. We're using MLA formatting. There are videos here that show you how to do that. There's an MLA formatting video here, and there's also one down here in the in this MLA information that's here. Okay, so you need to work your way through this information. You need to do it one step at a time, and once you get through that, then you'll have all of the basic information that you need in order to have a high level of success in the class, right? Something that I am going to absolutely insist that you do is I want you to watch this punctuation pattern. I want you to download and print the punctuation pattern sheet. You'll need to print it in color, so you may have to go to some place where you can get the color printing done for it. It's in this little page with it in Canvas, but it's also have it so that you can download it right there. Yeah. So anyway, you open up this page, and there's two things. There's a punctuation pattern sheet, and there's a video that explains how to use the punctuation pattern sheet. I expect you to watch both of those and to come to a basic understanding of how to use the sheet. If you have questions, please ask me in class or call the Google number. I'll be happy to explain it to you. Once you begin to see the patterns, it's not that difficult to use, and you can take this punctuation pattern sheet with you when you're working with tutors on campus. All right. So I absolutely insist that you watch this video, because when I'm talking to you, I'll be referring to it in my comments. Okay, then you get into the Unit 1, Week 1, and you just start at the top, like with everything else, and you just start working your way down through the bottom. There are example papers here that show you exactly what I'm looking for. They show you the formatting. They show you what I want the Works Cited page to look like. They show you that it's in Microsoft Word. You can see Microsoft Word coming up, all right? All right, so you have, and I have videos that show you how to create this MLA formatting. Uh, it's perfectly, in my classes, it's perfectly acceptable. In fact, actually recommended that you include pictures. If you do have a picture, you need to know how to cite it. I have information that explains that. And again, just give me a call and I can explain it to you there. But you can see that you have the picture with with the citation below it, right? And then you also have to have a works cited page. Okay, there it is right there. You can see that it's in alphabetical order and that it has a hanging indent. You do not have a date of access. You just have the URL with the period at the end. But again, this is all stuff that you should have learned in your English 101 classes. I understand that you may need to refresh your mind a little bit. So, so I have all of the information in here that will let you do that. Now I can take a breath. All right. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Okay. So that's it. That's the introduction to the class. That will, hang on just a second. A little coffee to keep me going here. That'll get you started, help you start moving through the course. I think the big thing, and I'm just going to repeat this over and over and over again, over 1,000 students have made it through this very same class with me. I've been doing this since at Blackhawk since 2002, and I've been teaching since the mid 1990s. It is, this is a doable exercise right here. It's, it's something that you can make it through the class. You just have to do all of the work and stay on top of it. And please do that. And if you do that, then when you get done with the class, I may have actually had you revise a couple of papers, and you'll do that. And then when you're done with that and you get the paper submitted, then you get the A, because that's how I grade. Either you've done it or you haven't done it. Either you've met my basic expectations or you haven't met my basic expectations. You will absolutely be working with tutors. You may work with tutors online at tutor.com, or you may work with the on-campus tutors. I highly recommend the on-campus tutors, although both are perfectly acceptable. If you are going to use somebody in your house or a friend, something like that, you have to get approval from me first. So you need to write to me and tell me about this person. I insist that the person have at least a 4-year degree. That's the basic rule for this. And then I want you to understand that that person may or may not know what it is that I'm looking for. All right, we have to keep that in mind. So I want you to communicate with me before you use an outside source. And then we'll be revising, and then you'll do this, and then you'll be done with the class, and then I will become a figment of your memory. So you'll barely even remember who I am 5 years from now, and then 20 years from now, well, probably won't even remember who your teacher was for 101. But that noted, or for 102, but that noted, hopefully this class is something that helps shape what you're doing. One more thing. The assignments that I give you, right, which are 1,500 word essays with 3 sources, correctly formatted, saying something that's coherent and legitimate. You're not allowed to do conspiracy theories. If you do a conspiracy theory, I'll fail the paper just like that. All right, conspiracy theories aren't allowed. So you're going to turn in some paper on a legitimate topic. You're going to be creating an argument. They're all arguments. You may use the topic that I'm suggesting for the unit. But if it's something that you don't want to do, if you're not interested in that topic, you can always select another topic. The thing about using the topic that I select for you is that you get the first paper already done for you, and you already get the first summary of the 3 summaries that you'd need to do for the paper. You already get that done and out of the way in the first week. So it's to your advantage to use the topic that I've selected for you, but it's not mandatory. You may decide to do that on your own. Every paper that you do, one of the three sources must be an opposition position of some kind. Has to create something that you can refute, ideas that you can refute that are related to your argument. Keep in mind that you cannot have an argument unless it's something that somebody would disagree with. So you have to find people who actually disagree with your ideas in order to do that. The classic example is abortion. We have people who support abortion and people who don't support abortion. If you're pro-choice, then your opposition would be somebody who is pro-life, and if you're pro-life, then your opposition would be somebody who's pro-choice. Right? It's pretty straightforward that way, and the instructions cover that in detail. But again, if you have questions, just send me a note or give me a call. I want you to make it through this class. It's just that simple. I want you to make it through this class and to learn the ideas that I'm trying to convey to you, and to learn how to create a basic argument, which is what you'll be doing from now until the day you die as far as writing is concerned. I think that's it. Welcome to the class. I'm glad you're here. I look forward to our getting to the end of the class and you're getting through the class with an A, because that's what will happen once you do all of the assignments. Again, I'm Galen Leonhardy. Give me a call if you have any questions. I look forward to being of service, and look forward to your writing about things and having fun while you're writing. I think that's a big thing, right? I'll see you in class or see you online.